Good morning students. I am Archana Mishra. Welcome to my channel Classroom for Class 10th. Today I am going to start chapter number 6, part A of our social studies. So what is chapter number 6? The people. What do you mean by people? People mean all human beings. And the word population. The word population came from the word people. The total number of people living in a particular area is called population. So let us start our chapter from our textbook. Now children, look at the world map. Some portions of this world map has been deleted. Now you can see the northern part of North America, that is Canada. This part, we can't see Alaska and Canada in this map. We can't see western part of Europe, that is Russia, and all these western parts have been deleted. We can't see the Arctic Circle, we can't see Antarctica. All these lands have been deleted from this map. So this map shows us the density of population on the world map. So the portion which have been deleted, they have a very lightly populated, very less population is there. Why some areas are densely populated like this? We can see southern part of North America, South America, Africa, and this South Asia countries. These parts are, and Eastern Europe. These parts of the world are very densely populated. Let us discuss all these things in this chapter. Now children, when we read this topic, we can understand that development means progress and improvement in the living condition of all, especially for the poor and marginalized people. So what is meant by development? Development for the poor people and the marginalized people. People have different occupations and different income in a particular area. Depending on their income and their family size, their standard of living rests. How can we say that some people are very rich and some are very poor? By living their standard of living. If they are living in a good house, if they have vehicles, and if the children are going in a good school, then we can say that the people are in a good standard of living. In the contrast of that, if the dresses are very worn out and in a poor condition, if they live in a very small house and not in a good sanitation area, children are not going to school, that means the people's living standard is very low. Now we will get a word census. What is meant by census? Census is the counting the people of a country. It is conducted by the Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India under the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. See children, the Registrar General and Census Commission of India organize the collection and recording of this information. That means what information? What is the population of our country? What is their occupation? How many males and females are there in our country? How many children are there in which group? Let us see. This project children have to do. Now conducting a survey. Children should make 5 groups and all the children should take a paper on which they should make this table. And they have to conduct information from 5 households. So how we will collect the information? You should go to one household and ask them how many male, how many females are there in the family, in which group they belong to, what is the education of the family members, and what are the work, what is the occupation of the people living in this household who are above 15 years of age. In this way, the 5 groups of children will collect the data from 5 households. After the survey, we will get the information and all the 5 groups, one by one, they will illustrate whatever information they have found. In this way, we can understand how the census is conducted by the government. After the survey, children, you will come to know that some people will tell you that the day by day the population of our country is increasing. So the limited resource is shared by the increased population. That's why the living standard of the people are not increasing. On the other hand, you will say the family which have a less population, which have a less member of family. It means if there are father and mother and two children, they are in a good living standard, because the resources, the income which they earn is distributed among only 4 members. On the other hand, you will find some families which have a very large number of people in the family. Suppose there are father and mother, 4 or 5 children, grandparents are there, and so the burden rests on the earning member, and you will find the standard of living is low compared to the family which have a limited number of members in the family. Now children, let us come to the topic, what does the census show? What does the census show? First, it shows the age structure. What is the average age of our country? The population of the country can be grouped into 3 main categories. Now we can see these topics. The population of a country can be grouped into 3 main categories. The children who are below 15 years, and the working age of people who are from 15 to 59 years, because this is the age when the people earn, and the aged group, that is above 59 years of age, because generally in the government sector people get retirement at the age of 59 and 60. So these are the 3 age groups. Now children below 15 years, working age group, and aged people above 59 years. These 3 groups we will find out from census. Now the earning people, they can be salaried person, or they are working as a businessman, or they have a small scale industries. All these people are coming in an earning group. And the aged persons who are above 59 years of age, they can be retired and salaried person in an organized sector. They are getting pension and their old age can be comfortable. They are not a burden on the family members. But the old people who worked in an unorganized sector, means as long as they worked, they earned the money. But when their physical capacity is not allowing them to work, then they are not getting pension, no social security, and they have to depend on the on their children or on the other earning members of a family. This group need good health and healthy diet and medical care, because the aged person, they are very vulnerable to the diseases, so they need much care and medicine compared to the young people. Now in the same page we will find a population pyramid, children. You can see the population. Left hand side shows us male population and right hand side female population. We can see the children age group from 0 to 5. It is very large population, and it goes on decreasing. 11 to 14 years, then 20 to 24 years, 30 to 34, then 40 to 44 years, and at the peak we can see the old people, that is the aged group, are from 90 to 94. It is a very less population. It shows us that the children group is very large in our country. And after that, young people's population is also very large compared to the aged person and old people. The pyramid shows that India's population is likely to grow in future. So the cone pyramid shows that the population is likely to increase in the coming year. Now see children, we have another topic, that is sex ratio. What do you mean by sex ratio? Sex ratio, it is a number of female per 1000 males in the population. What do you mean by sex ratio? It means the number of female per 1000 males in a population is called sex ratio. Sex ratio is a social indicator for equality. Suppose there are 1000 female per 1000 males, that means there is a equality in the society. But if the number of female is less compared to number of males, that means per 1000 males, if there is less than 1000, less than 900, less than 800, it shows a discrimination in the family against female population. Sex ratio indicate the hidden form of discrimination. We can't find out whether the family or society is discriminating, but it is a good indicator, and it shows that there is a very large number of discrimination against the female in the society. That means the family or the society is ignoring the health of the female child. They don't want female child to be born. They prefer for male child. They take good care for the male children. They send the male children only to the school, hoping that they will earn in the future. In India, 103 female babies are born against 100 male babies. Do you know, children? Every 100 male babies, 103 female babies are born. Means the birth of female babies are more than the male babies. It is a natural. It is very natural. But more female babies die than male. It is very surprising. Though the number of female babies born are more than the number of male babies born. But female babies survive less than the male babies. Whereas naturally it has been found out that female baby survival rate is more than the male babies. But there is a lot of discrimination against female babies, so they die compared to male babies. Because survival rate of female babies is more, but yet sex ratio is in the negative in our country. 0 to 5 years of female babies die more compared to the male babies. Now, the sex ratio does not depend on the per capita income. One thing very important, children, the sex ratio shows us the mindset of the people in a society. We will find some states who are very rich. Per capita income is also very high compared to other states. But the sex ratio is in a negative compared to other states. So it all depends on the mindset and thought of the people living in that particular society. Now see the table, children. Area and sex ratio has been given. Haryana, per 1000 male, only 870 female are there. Punjab, per 1000 male, only 880 females are there. In Andhra Pradesh, per 1970 females are there. In per 1000 male, there is 1040 female. The sex ratio is in a positive. It shows that Kerala is a very developed state. In the same way, let us take an example of a foreign country, USA. It also shows the sex ratio in a positive number, that is per 1000 male, there is 1050 female. So in this way we can see that sex ratio is the indicator of discrimination in the society against female. Now children, in our textbook, a picture has been given. What is the demand of all these women and girl and female children? They have some voice they want to tell to the society. We will find out that why the number of female is less than the male. That is, the sex ratio is a negative number. Because some reasons has been given. The preference for boys over girls. Family prefer boys over girls. This is mainly because of the quiet violence of the and neglect of their health and illness. There has also been cases of female fetus infanticide. People generally kill the female babies in the womb only. They do not allow them to take birth, and many families consider female children as a burden because they do not allow them to complete their education and earn for the family members. So in this way we can see that in many states the sex ratio is in a negative number. Now we have another topic, literacy rate. What is meant by literacy rate, children? We will see. Now a very good definition is given in our textbook. A person aged 7 years and above who can read and write with understanding in any language is treated as literate. So what do you mean by literacy rate? means the person above 7 years of age, if he can read and write with understanding in any language, can be considered as literate. Now, literacy rate, children, I have read the topic and collected the data that according to the census of 2011, a person above 7 years of and above of age who can read and write with understanding in any language is considered as literate. Now, data is giving that in 1947, literacy rate was only 12%. In 2001, the literacy rate was 64.84%. It increased rapidly. In 2011, it also increased literacy rate, that means it became 74.04%. But there is an exception. In 2011, men literacy rate was 82.14%, whereas women literacy rate was only 65.46%. This is a very shocking thing. There should be an equal literacy rate between male and female, then only we can achieve a very good society and without discrimination. Now children, again we can see there is a topic, working population. I have already explained that census gives us the structure of working population, and census gives us the structure of our country's population, and depending on the structure of our country's population, it is divided into 3 groups: children, working group, and aged group. Now, in the working group, there are many people who are doing different type of works, like some are farmers, cultivators, some people they work in the field of other people, some people do a small house business and household industries they have, like tailoring and cobbler, stitching. All these things coming under making bidi. These things are coming under household industries, and other workers are also like vendors, small shopkeepers. These are other workers. So, based on the category of their work, it can be divided into 4 categories. We can see children, workers. Who are the workers? Cultivators. They are 25% in our society. Agricultural laborers means the persons who the farmers who does not own a land and they only work in the field of other farmers. They are called agricultural laborers. It is 30%. And workers in household industries. That means small industries, they are doing work in a household, in a family. They vary from 0.04% to 59%. From 0.4 to 59%. And other workers, they together are 41%. Now children, we have another topic, changing population size. Population goes on changing. It is dynamic, it is not fixed. So there is a question, why population change? Population changes due to 3 main reasons: birth, death, and migration. Birth we have understood, the number of children taking birth; death, the number of people who die; and migration. Migration means the people who move from their one place to the other place in search of work or education. Now if we read the topic, we can understand that change in the size of the population is different in the number of population of the country or a territory during a specific period, example in 10 years. So this change is calculated after every 10 years. So whether the population of a particular area has been increased or decreased. The change can be in number or in percentage. Either just we count the number in the previous year and then we count the number after 10 years, we just subtract and get the number that is called absolute number. If we calculate this number based on 100 people, that number will show you the percentage. Observe this bar graph. This graph is given and it shows you the increase in the population. Now see, in 1901 till 2011, between these years, after every 10 years, there is an increase of population here. There can be many reasons for the increase of population. First of all, the birth is higher than the death. That is one reason. Another reason, family prefer for male child. For this, they wait for male child to be born, and in this way, there 3 or 4 female girls are born in the family. That is another reason. One more reason is the increase of population is the death has become very lower. It has decreased compared to the previous year, because nowadays there is a good medical facility and people can survive for longer years compared to the earlier time. The standard of living has been increased, so the death rate has decreased. Another reason is immigrants. Immigrants means the people coming from other area to our area. That is called immigrants. This also add to the population of a country. The change of population means the number of birth plus number of immigrants. Means the people coming in our area are called immigrants. Minus number of death plus number of out migrants. Out migrants means the people who are going out of our areas. Now if this shows us in a positive number, then it is called positive change. If it gives you the negative number, if the number of death plus out migrants is more than the number of birth plus number of immigrants, then it will give you a negative number. So did you understand? Now children, what is the rate of increase in population? If you read the topic, we will find out that population change in 1992. They have given you the example of the year 1992, and we have excluded all the migrants, either immigrants or out migrants. Only we should consider the birth. Now birth per 1000 people was 29 and death per 1000 people was 10. So the number of birth is higher than number of death. Now there is an increase of population. That means if you subtract 29 minus 10, it will give you 19 per 1000 people. Now there is an increase of 19 people per 1000 people every year. If we change it into percentage, we will get there is 1.9. That means almost 2% of increase in population every year. Is it clear, children? There is a 2% of increase in population every year in our country. Now children, read these topics and we will find what is the causes. What are the causes for the growth of population? What are the main causes for the growth of population? Now I have noted in point decline in death rate and increase in birth rate. This is the first point for the increase of population. Now children, table is given in our textbook, table number 2. We can see in different years what is the total number of population. It has been given in millions. In 1951 it is 361 million. In 1951 it is 361 million children. In 1961 it became 439 million. 1971 it became 549 million. 1981 it became 683 million. In this way we can see that there is a continuous increase in the number of population. Now what is the absolute number of population? We have to divide the former number with the later number. In this way we can see that in 1961 there is absolute increase of 78 million people. In 1971 109 million people increased. In 1971 109 million people increased. In 1981 135 million people increased. We are dividing previous number with the later number, and this figure we are getting. Now take out the percentage. In 1961 we will get the percentage like this. The increased number divided by previous number into 100. In this way, we can fill this table. We will get the increase in percentage and increase in absolute number. So, what did I found? I found that there is a continuous increase in the number of population in our country. Right from 1951, if you will see till today, the data has been given up to 2011 only, but now it is 2022. We can see still the population is increasing in a very drastic way in our country. Now children, we have given a graph for fertility rate of India from 1961 to 2011. See this graph. Now what do you mean by fertility rate? Fertility rate is the number of children that is likely to be born to a woman till the end of her childbearing years. That is called fertility rate. How many children a woman can give birth during her childbearing period. Now in this way I can see in 1961 the fertility rate was highest. That means each woman can give birth to 6 children. It decreased to 5.4. That means a woman fertility rate decreased to 5.4, means 5 children they can give birth to. It goes on decreasing. So now in 2011 the fertility rate dropped to 2.7, means average 3 children. A woman gives birth to 3 children in a family. So it is a good sign. We have seen that the fertility rate of a woman is decreasing after every 10 years in our country. Now children, let us read this topic children. The very important term migration. This is also very main and third component for the increase of population in our country. The third component of population change is migration. What is meant by migration? The people going from one place to another is called migration. Migration is the movement of people across region and territories. Migration can be internal within the country or international between the countries. Internal migration does not change the size of population because it happens only within the country, but influences the distribution of population within the nation. Suppose the people are coming from states like Odisha, Bihar to the states like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, New Delhi, Maharashtra. In this way, the density of population of the states like Telangana, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh and Delhi will go on increasing. On the same time, the population density of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, Odisha, it will decrease. So in this way we can see that the migration within the country cannot change the population, but it can change the population density and distribution of people in different areas. Migration plays a very significant role in changing the composition and distribution of population. You will know more about migration in the forthcoming chapter. I will make a video and make you understand in a better way children for the next chapter. Now one more thing children, read this and you will understand. We often hear people talk of population growth in alarmed tone. Alarmed tone means very drastic way, within population is increasing within a very short period. These people are often literate and talk about others not benefiting because there are too many people who have to share few resources. However, families decide the number of children they want to have based on many considerations such as resources they own, their security in old age, etc. The world map. Just I have explained you that these areas which has been given in this world map shows you the places where the population density is higher and those areas which is not given in this world map, there the population density is very low. Why there is an unequal distribution of population in different parts of the world? Because of the terrain, the form of land, the relief feature, it is accountable for the population in a particular area. We can see in India, the Indo-Gangetic Plain, the plateau region, the coastal region, they all are very highly populated area. The population density is very high in this area because the relief feature is very good. There is a good source of water, and the terrain is very plain. People can cultivate land, and they have a good transport system. Here also we can see this area. This is also a good relief feature area. We can see Africa. Here, these areas which are given, they have a very good resources, and many parts of Africa continent is a coastal area, and there are a lot of rivers are there. Nile River, Niger rivers, all these rivers are flowing in this area. So they have got a very good living condition and very good ecosystem. In the same way, South America, we can see surrounded by ocean and sea from all sides. They have a good relief feature. Southern part of North America and Western Europe. All these areas are in such a position on the globe that they have a good climatic condition, so the population is very high. On the other hand, we will find out the hilly areas. In India also, Himalayan region, the hilly region, the land terrain is not very good, and it is very cool. Temperature goes in minus in the winter season, so the Himalayan region are very less populated. The same region in North America, we can see Alaska and Canada. They are very less populated because it is a very harsh climate. That means the winter temperature goes minus 30 or minus 40 degree temperature. Eastern Europe, they are also covered with ice in most part of the year. Arctic Circle and Antarctica, all these areas are very less populated because of the landform and hilly areas. Now, what is population density? Population density is the number of people living in per unit area. In the year 2011, the density of population was 382 persons per square kilometer in India. In West Bengal, it was 904 persons per square kilometer. In Arunachal Pradesh, it was 13 persons per square kilometer. Thus, we can see that West Bengal, the population density is higher than Arunachal Pradesh. Let us see Indian population map. We can see the dark brown color. It shows the highly densely populated area in our country. Then we can see dark orange color. They are also populated but less than these dark areas because this is Indo-Gangetic Plain. It is very highly populated area. The coastal areas in Deccan Plateau, all these areas are very highly populated. Here Assam, it is a good cultivating area due to Brahmaputra river. So these areas are very highly populated, and we can see a very light yellow color, that is Himalayan region. This is nowadays Ladakh region, Arunachal Pradesh. These are covered with ice throughout the year, so the population is very less in this area. Here Thar desert, the land is not good for cultivation, so the population is very less here. In Gujarat also, in Ran of Kutch, we can see the density of population is very less because the land is not good for cultivation. So these are the factors which contribute to the population density in our country. See this population pyramid of country Sweden. We can see the young people and the old people are more than the children in this country. So their population is likely to decrease in the coming year. In the future, their population is going to decrease because the children are very less. There is another country, Kenya. Here also, this pyramid shows us a good future for the country because the number of children is more than the number of young people, and the number of young people is more than the number of old people. So the country's population is going to maintain in the future. We have another country, Mexico. This pyramid also shows that the number of children is more and young people is also more compared to the old people. And one more thing, the countries have a good sex ratio. The number of women and number of men are equal. So it shows that there is no discrimination against female in the country. Thus children, we have come to an end of this chapter number 6, that is population. I hope you have liked my video. If you have liked my video children, please like, share and subscribe my channel.